Today we will learn basics of accounts. Introduction. Accounting is a process of identifying, recording, summarizing, and reporting economic information to decision makers in the form of a financial statements. So, accounting is a first process of identifying the transactions. What type of the transactions? Monetary transactions. Then recording in a appropriate account, and then summarizing. It is called arising with the balances in a trial balance. Then reporting in a financial reports such as profit and loss account, trading or profit and loss account, or balance sheet. So the financial statements will be useful to the following parties. So they are suppliers. First, suppliers. Why suppliers are interested to know the financial statement of a company? Suppliers of materials are very much interested to know the financial position, so that they can come up to a decision. They can supply their materials or goods on credit basis or no. So they will understand the financial position of the company. Company is in a position to pay their debts. So next, it is the customers. Customers are also interested in knowing the financial statements of a company, because they will understand the company from which they are buying the products are in a what position. Are they in a profitable position or how? Next, employees of a companies are also interested in knowing the financial position of a company. Employees are interested whether the company is running under profit or loss. Are they serving better for their company or no? This will motivate them to do better work. Then comes banks. Banks are also interested in knowing the financial position of a company in order to lend furthermore funds or furthermore loans. Funds in the form of loans. Next, suppliers of equipments, for example, as machineries, and suppliers of a building, in the sense construction companies, constructor of a building. Can they take the risk of building buildings, so that most of the times it will be on a credit basis or installment basis, and financial position of the company, they will always ask the financial statements. And the suppliers of other assets, like other machineries required by the company, and some other assets. Lenders, money lenders, they are also interested in a financial position of the company. And the owners for to take the decision of their company, how the company is running. So for all these people, to serve these people, to give a accurate statement of accounts or financial statements, we need to maintain proper books of accounts. So by maintaining proper books of accounts, we can prepare financial statements like trading profit and loss account, balance sheet. So with which these people will take a decision on these basis of these statements. So under basics of accounts, you should know what are the types of accounts. The accounts of different transactions are broadly classified and basically classified into three types. There are three types of accounts maintained for a transaction. That is real accounts, personal accounts, nominal accounts. These are the basic three types of accounts. Any transaction, any monetary transaction, sometimes credit transactions, are also divided into three types. First, we'll understand what is real accounts. Real accounts is nothing but what the tangible things, what comes in, what goes out. For example, when you buy, when a company sells products for a cash, so what comes in and goes out here is a cash. So then when you deposit, so another example will be when you deposit a cash or withdraw cash from the bank, the what comes in and goes out will be the cash. So these are the transactions will come under the group of come under the type of real accounts. Next, there is a personal accounts. What is personal accounts? Personal accounts is accounts of a persons which relating to business. For example, they may be creditor, sundry creditor, or sundry debtor, or banks, or money lenders, whoever the persons. So, for example, if you make a cash sales, here cash is not affected for personal accounts. What is affected is not cash sales, credit sales. What is affected is a party. Why party is party's account has to be maintained here? Because it is sales is on basis of credit. So here the sundry debtors account is maintained because their account is debited. We will be debiting their account because it's a credit sales. So we are crediting the sales and debiting the debtors account. So debit the receiver. Here the receiver debtor is receiving the goods from the sales point of view. Next type of account is a nominal account. Nominal account is an account other than these real account and personal account. All other accounts will fall under the type of nominal accounts. For example, sales account, purchase account, debit note account, credit note account. Rest all the accounts are nominal accounts. So this is the understanding. Real accounts are the accounts relating to a parties and assets which are owned by business concern. Real accounts include tangible and intangible accounts. Why? How intangible accounts? Which are the intangible account is a goodwill account. So goodwill also a real account. So for example, for real accounts is a land, building, goodwill, purchases, cash. Next there is a personal account. Personal accounts are the accounts which relate to persons. Personal accounts include the following. It is suppliers, customers, lenders. They are all come under the type of a personal accounts. Nominal accounts. Nominal accounts are the accounts which relate to income and expenses and gains and losses of a business concern. For example, salary account, dividend account, sales account, all are nominal accounts. Then accounts can be broadly classified under the following four groups. They are assets, liabilities, income, and expenses. Assets and liabilities are shown in the balance sheet. Profit and income and expenses are shown in the profit and loss account, and MIS report. The above classification is based on the generating various financial statements, likewise balance sheet, profit and loss account, and other MIS reports. The assets and liabilities are taken to balance sheet, and the income and expenses are posted to a profit and loss account. Next, you should understand, very important, is the golden rules of accounting. That is, how the debit and credit you have to treat for a transactions which are of maybe real accounts or maybe personal accounts or nominal account. How will give a debit and credit for a transaction? Now, for example, for transactions like real accounts. It's for real accounts. Under real accounts, if I take the example of a cash debited to the bank. So what you should debit is a cash. When you deposit, cash goes out from the business. So you should credit the cash and debit with the banker's account. Banker's account is debited and cash account is credited. Credit what goes out and debit what comes in. Debit what comes in here does not come in anything. You should debit the bank's account. Next, there is a personal account. Example for personal account is a credit sales or credit purchases. Here we are taken into consideration of sundry debtors and creditors. Under sundry debtors will be receiver of the benefit, that is stock. When we sell the products to them, they will receive the stock, so their account will be debited, and credited will be the sales account. So debit the sundry debtors account and credit the sales account. Sales account, again, it is a nominal account. So credit all incomes and gains. So we are crediting the sales account. Next type of account is a nominal account. That is, according to this rule, debit all expenses and losses, credit all incomes and gains. For example, take purchases account. Purchases account is a expense for a company. So you will debit the purchase account, credit the sundry creditors account, and credit all incomes and gains. For example, sales account. Sales is income for a company. So credit the sale, debit the debtors account, and credit the or debit the cash. Sometimes cash sales, you can debit the cash what comes in under sales account, cash sales, and credit the sundry. Credit the credit under incomes and sales are the and fall under the nominal account. So sales is a income for a company. Debit the debtors account, credit the sales account. Now you should know accounting principles, concepts and conventions. Going concern. So business is a assume that business will exist for a long period of time, and transactions are recorded from this point of view. So it is a going concern. Transactions will not stop with the ending of a financial statement, financial year. After the ending of a financial year, next financial year will begin. So it is called going concern. Next principle, next concept is accounting period. You should know what is accounting period. The users of financial statements required periodical reports to ascertain operational and financial position of the business concern. Thus, it is essential to close the accounts at the regular interval. That is, it may be a 365 day, or we call it 52 weeks in a year, is considered as the accounting period. So, we should prepare reports for a certain period. It may be sometimes quarter ending, half yearly ending, or year ending. For certain period, we have to prepare the financial reports. That is called, what period it is prepared? It is called accounting period. Next concept, accounting entity. According to this assumption, business considered as a unit or entity apart from its owner, creditor, and other. So that means if you own a business, a company is having separate entity in a society. So in case of sole proprietor concern, proprietor is treated as a separate person and distinct from the business. He cannot be considered as a sole proprietor, and the business are one. So which he controls. The proprietor is treated as a creditor to the extent of his capital. That means the proprietor will invest a capital on his business. Business will, so he is a creditor to the extent of his capital. So business should give back the capital invested on the business. And all the business transactions are recorded in the books of accounts from the business standpoint, not from the sole proprietor or owner standpoint. Money measurement. In accounting, only business transaction and events of financial nature are only recorded. It can be credit transactions also. So only transaction that can be measured in money, in terms of money, are only recorded. So this concept is, we call it as money measurement. Next, principle of account is a double entry system of bookkeeping. What is double entry system of bookkeeping? As per the double entry system of bookkeeping, all the business transactions recorded in accounts have two aspects. That is debit aspects, the receiving, credit aspect, giving. For example, when a business acquires an asset, it receiving, and pays the cash, giving for it. So there is two parts are affected. One is receiving part and one is giving part. What is receiving is asset, what is giving is a cash. So this accounting techniques records each transaction as a debit and credit, where every debit has a corresponding credit. So that is why we call it as a double entry system. When we buy some materials from the creditors, there are two accounts are affected: the party, the provider of the material, and the buyer. Same way with the sales, there will be so that is why it is called as a double entry system of bookkeeping. And there are some certain features of this double entry system of bookkeeping. And what are they? First one, every business transaction affects two accounts. How I said, it has two aspects like debit and credit. Maintain a complete record of business transaction, all business transactions. So by this way, we have double entry system of bookkeeping. It maintains all the records of a business transaction. So that is the better and the correct form of maintaining a books of accounts. So by this way, it helps to check the accuracy of an accounting transaction by preparation of a trial balance. So only with the effect of two accounts, that is debit and credit, we can prepare it. We can come up with the accuracy of accounting transaction. Then we can prepare a trial balance. So with the trial balance, it helps to ascertain profit earned or loss occurred during the period by preparation of a profit and loss account. So with the trial balance, we prepare a trading profit and loss account. So we will understand whether the business is running under a profit or there is a loss occurred. So next, double entry system helps to ascertain financial position of the concern at the end of each period. So at the end of each period, it can be quarter or half yearly or year ending. We can prepare a financial, we can ascertain financial position of a concern by preparation of a balance sheet. It helps to timely decision making based on sufficient information. So owner can take a timely decision on the basis of a balance sheet and profit and loss account with the help of the double entry system of bookkeeping. It minimizes the possibilities of a fraud due to its systematic and scientific recording of a business transaction. So there is a minimum chances for occurring of a fraud with the double entry system of bookkeeping. So it minimizes the possibilities of all the frauds. Next, modes of accounting. Accounting process begins with the identifying, recording the transaction in a books of accounts. That is first step in the accounting process is recording the transaction in the books of accounts. Accounting identifies only those transactions and events which involves money and is sorted based on various source documents. So if you have to maintain a books of accounts, you should have certain documents. For example, if you have to maintain a cash book, you should have cash memo with you, because whatever the cash transaction has took place, there should be a cash memo. And if you have done some sales, there should be a invoice or bill with you, or any vouchers, any debit note, credit note, anything passed, there should be vouchers for that. Then there is a receipt for receiving cash. When you receive cash from the debtors, there should be a receipt for that. And if you receive any returns from the debtors or returns from the creditors or receive return from the debtors, there should be a credit note, debit note and credit note. So with these source documents are the proof for the business transactions. Next we'll understand different concepts in a business. That is, first you need to know what is voucher. Voucher is a document in a support of a business transaction containing the details of a such transaction. Voucher can be a sales voucher, purchase order, sales order, any voucher. So it contains all the details of a transaction. It may be supplier's address, date, the particulars of a transaction, amount, tax, everything. It is containing. Next, receipt. When a trader receives a cash from a customer against goods sold by him, issues a receipt containing the name of a such customer, details of amount received with the date. So when you receive a cash from a customers, you have to issue a receipt to him. So it contains the amount and a date. Invoice or bill. When a trader sells goods to a buyer, he prepares a sales invoice containing the details of a name and address of a buyer, name of a goods, amounts, terms of payments, it may be cash, credit, however, and so on. Similarly, when the traders purchase goods on credit, receives an invoice or bill from the supplier of such goods. So any purchases or sales or purchases or sales, there should be an invoice or bill. Next, there is you should know what is journals and what is ledgers. A journal is a record in which all the transactions are entered in a chronological order. So chronological order is nothing but the on what particular time and date and time. So if it is any transaction as occurred during the morning in that particular time, it should be entered in the particular, it will be entered first, then what according to the time and date. It cannot be in a unsystematic order. So according to the date and time, it should be entered. A record of a single business transaction is called journal entry. So record of a single business transaction is called journal entry. Every journal entry is supported by a voucher evidencing the related transaction. So every journal entry should be supported with the voucher, and then it is entered. Then you should know what is account. An account is a statement of transaction affecting any particular asset, liability, expense or income. So it is a statement of all the transactions affecting to your maybe assets, liability, expense or income. Next, you need to know what is ledger. Ledger is a book which contains all the account, whether personal, real, nominal, which are entered in a journal or subsidiary books. These are called ledger books or ledger account. Next, chart of accounts. A chart of account is a list of all the accounts used by organization. The chart of accounts also displays the categorization and grouping of its accounts. That means all the transactions in a similar in nature are grouped and prepared in a chart. So it is called chart of accounts. Next, after the preparation of a ledgers, there will be a posting of a ledgers. Posting is the process of transferring the entries recorded in a journal or subsidiary books to the respective accounts opened in the ledger. So it is called posting of posting to ledgers. So from the journal entry, we will post into the ledgers. So it is called posting. So that is grouping of all the transactions relating to a particular account to a single place. For example, all the sales related transactions will be posted to sales ledgers. All the purchases related transactions will be entered in a sales, posted in a sales ledgers, purchase ledgers. Then there is an accounting period. Generally, the financial statements are generated for a regular period, such as quarter or year, for timely and accurate ascertaining of a operating and financial position of the organization. So, accounting period, how I explained you before, it is for the period for the statements, financial statements. Next, trial balance. What is trial balance? Is a statement which shows the debit balance and credit balance of all the ledger accounts. So that means a total of all the debit balance and a credit balance of the separately, debit and credit balances separately, the total of totals and of all the ledger accounts. As per the rules of a double entry system, every debit should have a corresponding credit. The total of the debit balance and credit balance should agree with each other. So there cannot be any differences. So debit and credit balance should tally with each other. Next, there is a financial statement. What is financial statement? Is a final result of accounting work done during the accounting period, maybe a quarter ending, half yearly, or for a year. Financial statements normally include trading, profit and loss account, balance sheet. Then you should know what is transaction. A transaction is a financial event that takes place in a course of a furtherance of a business and affects the financial position of the company. So any transactions relating to the business, events relating to the business, it may be monetary or credit, are called transactions. For example, when you deposit a cash in the bank, your cash balance reduces, bank balance increases, and when you sell a goods for a cash, your cash balance increases and your stock reduces. These are called transactions. Transaction can be classified as follows: receipts, it may be cash or bank; payments, it may be cash or bank again, purchases or sales. So all these are the classification of our transactions. Hope you understood the basics of accounts. So with the understanding of a basics of accounts, it will be easy for us to understand the Tally ERP9 software. So in my next class, we will proceed with the proceed in a Tally ERP9. So I hope you understood the concept of a basics of accounts, and if you have any doubts relating to today's chapter, please comment me, and please do like if you like the class, and please subscribe my channel. Thank you.